Good morning, everyone. My name is Martis, and I am with the Academy for Environmental Leadership's marketing team. And today we're speaking to Professor Leopold van Heijsteen. Good morning, Leopold.
Good morning, Marcus. Good morning, everyone.
Right, so as you can see in the title, Professor Leopold is the Executive Academic Head of the AAL as well as the Director. Leopold, what is your connection with tertiary education, or at least higher education?
Yes, thank you. I had been, for the last half of my career, I was at Stellenbosch University. I started as a lecturer in soil science. Then I became the Dean of the Faculty of Agri-Sciences. And then I was promoted to Chief Operating Officer. And in the last time, I was an acting rector and vice after Professor Portman died. 17, I'm the executive academic head at the Academy for Environmental Leadership.
Okay, and was that almost very close to the start of the academy, right?
Yes, the academy started in 2016, but it's since 2017 that we offered a provisionally accredited qualification.
Okay. And you mentioned soil science. So is that your field of expertise, specifically soil science?
My expertise is primarily soil science and chemistry, but I worked in the viticultural industry, I worked in citrus industry, I work in conservation. So I applied soil science over many industries.
Maybe for 1 minute, tell us what is the connection, or in your mind, what is the importance of soil science as related to conservation and really looking after our environment?
Well, soil is primarily in production. It determines the natural vegetation. On shallow soils, you have a different type of vegetation that you have in deep and fertile soils. In rocky areas, you have different. So, soil science is a basis of where every plant starts. It is even important for animals. If there's not enough microelements in the soil, then uh, the wool production and the hair production of sheep and goats are not are of a low quality. So it connects and they also therefore our students they have to learn something about soil science at the academy.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, let's get back. So we're recording this on the 26th of January. The matric results came out about 2 weeks ago, and at this time of year, everyone hopes they have good news. Not everyone has good news, unfortunately. We see a lot of things in the media relating to university capacity, and really the bottom line is we only have X amount of space in our universities, and we have hundreds of matriculants who are hoping to study at university
Yeah.
or gain acceptance at least. Could you help us understand what is the issue? What are the numbers and maybe implications of this university capacity issue?
Well, there is 26 public universities in South Africa, and they have limited spots available for first-year entrants. They have 35,000 places for first years, while over 900,000 learners passed matric. And there's a significant gap between a bachelor's pass and available places at universities. And then one of the implications is that several students apply to several universities at the same time because there is a shortage of places. And examples of the numbers are almost 300 prospective students enrolled applied to Nelson Mandela University, while they only have 8,500 spaces. At Northwest University, they receive close to 500,000 applications, while they only have 11,800 places. University of Johannesburg processed 450,000 applications, while they only have 11,200 places.
Sure.
Then, furthermore, matriculants do not necessarily gain acceptance for the first choice career path, and competition to secure seats in certain disciplines has become a nightmare, and it will get worse as more and more learners pass matric. It is concerning that so many learners who qualify for university will be left without a placement. It does not help either to wait until next year, because next year there will be coming another gulf of students or a wave of students ready for university. So the higher education landscape is one of hyper competition for places.
How does the application process work? The interesting part about university applications is that it's almost like we're looking at it as minimum requirements. You need a set of results. You obviously need to be able to afford, etc., etc. But it feels like there are many other things. Well, am I choosing the right path? Am I well suited to go into a university first year classroom of hundreds of students? For some, it's the first time away from home, a sense of freedom, and after going through a rigorous application process and our parents paying lots of money, students sometimes don't have the ability to focus, or the discipline to sit down and study, or they just enjoy student life too much. Is there anything to say about that? That obviously universities only have this much space, and it's such a desirable thing or place to be, but it's maybe not always the right place for a specific individual.
Well, it's a major step up in academic performance from school to universities. And universities, they have large class numbers, so there's no individual attention at university. They don't mind whether you attend class or whether you pass a test. You're completely on your own. And like I say, being away from home first time or in a foreign environment, that can be challenging to cope at university. And the fallout rate of first year students in South Africa is almost 67%. Don't pass all their subjects in the first year because of these challenges. So you may be admitted, and that's not a guarantee that you will succeed. In fact, we see that several students don't succeed because they're simply not university ready at the time when they leave the school. So the big challenge is that there's an increasing number of learners who are having passes that qualify them to enter higher education, but not necessarily accepted for specific courses. And it does not help either to hope for a placement, because next year it will be worse. Furthermore, safe accommodation is very scarce and very limited at universities. Students who gain the highest marks, they are admitted, and in fact, because of the high numbers, university can afford to be elitistic in who they allow. So they simply pick those with the highest scores for specific programs. Yeah.
It's of working towards a career. But do they sit at home? Do they need to figure things out? Do they take a gap year? Do they find a job? What are their options? What would you say are the benefits of a program like the AAL, or even the AAL specifically?
Well, I can speak with the AL in mind as an example. I would rather than stay at home and be in despair. Prospective students must invest in a year of intensive vocational training to fast track their careers, to prepare them to be university ready next year. Unfortunately, it's a fact that the success rates at universities are very low. University qualifications are completed over an extended time frame, more often than not. And for instance, a 3-year degree would take 5 years to complete because of the low student success rate at university. So the negative element of this is that It is additionally expensive to be a student, paying tuition for extra years. And then the graduate struggling to complete the degree within time also enters a formal sector 2 years later than his or her peers, which is important for their income. So, and then unfortunately, quite a high number of students leave university without a qualification, with substantial student debt without a qualification, while smaller institutions like the AEL, they can, I will expand on this later, but they can obtain a higher certificate within a year and no student debt. And they are more university ready when they opt for this alternative route into a university or into an entry-level job.
I know that the AL also offers or places considerable amounts of focus and energy on the personal development and the student as a person. What role does that play?
Well, just to, on the points that you are making, they are all valid, and just to structure it a bit, the student success rate at the university, at the AEL is 95% over the 10 years. This means that your student obtains a higher education qualification after 1 year. An AEL qualification opens doors into several industries, and this is not magic. The fact is that environmental protection and environmental management fits many, many industries, because every industry has a footprint on the environment and our natural resources. So the AEL is academic bridging year between school and university. Like you say, we had some of our graduates went into engineering, some went into law, because environmental law is a new direction of study. They went into winemaking, they went into agriculture. And I have a saying, if an engineer cares for an environment, then the environment wins. If an attorney care for the environment, then the environment wins. And so you can go on and on. So the learner learn to manage him or herself, to hold back their tempers, speak good or well to several people. So, and a good part of our offering is outdoors, and then it's a lot of fun studying there, because you're in the environment, in your natural habitats. Yeah.
Do you have any last thoughts or any closing thoughts for parents, who might be, wondering whether anything other than university is even worth our time and our investment? What could you say to them?
Well, investment in further qualification of post-matric is definitely investment in your child. We have to make it because of economic conditions. Competition in the world of work is even more fierce than to get into universities. And it's definitely has been shown by publications, scholarly publications, that persons with a higher education qualification get easily jobs. And it's not even necessary for a job in which you studied. It's just the fact that you develop that cognitive ability which appeal to the world of work. So please invest. There are institutions much smaller than universities, much more focused than universities, and the country needs that type of qualification. For instance, environment is for jobs for the future.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you very much, Leopold. We really appreciate your time, and I'm sure many people will appreciate your inputs and your expertise. Thank you.